So I came across this article in the past day or so about the Packers and their best kept secret. So I thought we would go through it. This is where I found the article on PackersWire.com, and it's titled "Defensive Line Talent is Packers' Best Kept Secret Entering 2022." So they start off saying, for years the Packers struggled to assemble the right pieces around Pro Bowl defensive lineman Kenny Clark, who consistently dominated but rarely got enough help. The Packers' best kept secret this year, the depth and talent of the defensive line overall. General Manager Brian Gutekunst attacked the position group this offseason, signing veteran Jarran Reed and using a first-round pick on Georgia's Devontae Wyatt and a seventh-round pick on Miami's Jonathan Ford. When we look at this Packers defense for the past 5 years or so, there was a period of time where this rushing defense was just absolutely terrible. There were specific moments where it was much worse, like in that playoff game versus the 49ers, a game versus Dalvin Cook where he ran for over 200 yards. But recently the Packers have gotten better when it comes to their overall ability to stop the run. So I want to look here the past 5 years, the Packers rushing defense, and this is yards allowed per game. 2017, 18th, 2018, 23rd, 2019, 26th, and then 2020, 10th, 2021, 10th. So the past 2 years, this Packers defense has greatly improved when it comes to overall yards per game allowed. And I think, too, as we just read a little bit from that article, with the new additions here, especially on the defensive line, it is going to lead to, I think, this Packers defense. If we were 10th last year, and now we're adding these few players to this roster, I don't see why this defense can't be even better when it comes to stopping the run. Because first off, when you add a player with the athletic ability of a Devontae Wyatt, a first-round draft pick to put alongside Kenny Clark, not only is Wyatt, I think, going to be an upgrade alongside Kenny Clark, I think that when you add in what it's going to allow Kenny Clark to do as well, it just really bolsters the entire unit. Not only when it comes to the position Devontae Wyatt will be playing, but also when you add in the ability now that Kenny Clark will have to hopefully be playing less against double teams. If you have Devontae Wyatt there next to Kenny Clark, it's just going to free up Kenny Clark even more. And then we add in the fact that we also added Jarran Reed, who has the ability to rush the passer as well as stop the run. He's not really a one-dimensional guy. He can do both things. We saw a few years ago he had 9 or 10 sacks. Last year was a little bit less productive for him, but he has that ability. So the Packers have players who, on the inside of this defense now, can rush the passer and stop the run. And so I think when you add in just the depth that we have there now, with Brian Gutekunst adding Jarran Reed, adding Devontae Wyatt, adding 7th-round draft pick Jonathan Ford, who could play a little bit of nose tackle, 6'5", 330 pounds. And then you also add in TJ Slaton, Packers last year's 5th-round draft pick at 6'5", 340. The Packers will be able to put those guys, at the nose tackle position and use Kenny Clark in other ways. I came across another interesting stat. This is from zonecoverage.com. And they have here basically how the Packers have used Kenny Clark in the past 4 years has changed. So right here we have Kenny Clark's nose tackle usage and percentage there. Basically the percentage of the time that Kenny Clark has played nose tackle. As you can see, 2018, 46%. 2019, 41%. And then 2020, 23%. And 2021, only 17%. So you can see in the 4 years that Kenny Clark has been playing, year after year, the Packers have used him less at the nose tackle, and they put him more over between the guard and the tackle, and they're able to use him more there. And so now, because we do have multiple players who could play that nose tackle spot besides Kenny Clark, like a TJ Slaton, Jonathan Ford, maybe even at times the Packers would want to use Devontae Wyatt, but we have lots of depth there to do lots of different things. And so I think when you add that factor in, I do agree this is maybe the Packers' best kept secret. And then not only that, of course, this D-line is going to be better because of all the things we just talked about. But not only that, but to add a Quay Walker alongside Devondre Campbell, where when you have these defensive linemen, holding up blockers, getting to the running back, it's also going to free up Quay Walker and Devondre Campbell even more to be able to fly into those holes. So overall, I'm really excited to see what this Packers D-line can do, not only on the interior, also, of course, on the edge. I do think there's a little bit lack of depth there, some uncertainty outside of Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary. But I'm really excited to see how this entire defense meshes together, because on paper, when you look at all this talent that's added, all the depth that's been added overall in this defense, then you add in Jaire coming back, it really seems like this Packers defense should take a huge, massive leap forward. Will it happen? We will see. Time will tell. We'll find out in the next couple months as the season gets started. But I'm very excited to see just what this Packers defense can do, how much more productive they're going to be, because I really think that when you add all these factors together, this defense is going to be, much, much scarier next season. Because especially if Kenny Clark isn't able to be focused on as much, if you have to factor in a player like a Devontae Wyatt, it's just going to make both guys even better in this defensive, line better overall. So I'm really, really excited to see what this defense has to offer. I want to read a quote here from the same article, a comment from Kenny Clark. He says this: "We have a lot of depth," Clark said last month. "It's going to be a good thing for us, just to keep us fresh. It's hard to stop any one of us when we come on the field on third down and rush the passer and have our legs under us. It's hard for an offensive line to stop us." So Kenny Clark he knows that this is one of probably the best defensive line unit he has ever played along. And so to see him out there alongside Jarran Reed, Devonte Wyatt, it's going to be exciting, very exciting to see. And then we also have here a little bit on Ford from Miami. Ford was a 40-game starter at Miami. He's a mountain of a man at 6'5" and over 330 pounds, giving the Packers another gap plugger who can take some pressure off Clark as a nose tackle. Clark's dominance is well established. He's highly regarded around the league because he's a rare player. The league just doesn't have many disruptive nose tackles who can withstand the rigors of an interior run defense and collapse the pocket on quarterbacks. Clark can, and he has over many consecutive seasons. And then one final thing here from about TJ Slaton, who we already talked about a little bit. Don't forget about Slaton. He flashed some ability as a rookie, and the Packers think he's light years ahead of where he was a year ago. Montgomery said he can be a dominant run defender. A big step from Slaton in 2022 could make him a mainstay in the middle of the base defense and a key part of what the Packers do on early downs. So last year, the Packers did use TJ Slaton a little bit minimally because it was his first season, but they did give him a good amount of snaps, a small amount of snaps each game. And so with him coming into his second year, I expect, as the coaches have said, he's light years ahead of where he was last year because now he's had an entire year in this defense. So everything seems to be adding up for this defense to be one of the best, in my personal opinion, in the NFL. So we'll see if they can bring it all together, and I really think they can. And so, especially, too, because of what this defense can do, it's just going to take a lot of pressure off of the offense, because if this defense can hold teams to 20 points a game, 18, 17 points a game, this offense doesn't have to do quite as much because when you have a defense playing that well, clearly you want the Packers offense to dominate, which they have the ability to. We'll see if it all clicks, but I'm excited. I'm just very excited for the season to start. It's finally coming up. The offseason is almost over. The year is getting ready to start. And so if you guys want to stay up to date with all things Packers, that's what I put on this channel. Daily updates, news, everything like that. When training camp starts in only, 6 days now, I will be covering all of that, everything that's going down. So if you don't want to miss anything, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on those post notifications so that way every time I make a video, you get notified. And if you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, Real Sideline Scoop on Instagram, I'm putting stuff out there as well. News that comes out usually a little quicker depending on the news. So if you want to stay up to date with all that, I'll leave a link in my description down below. Also, Real Sideline Scoop, if you search on Instagram, you should probably find it. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I do appreciate you guys a lot. But that is all for this one, and I will see you guys next time.